Hello, everyone, and welcome back to that Eurovision site, Eurovision with a Slice of Life. I am Angus, your him host with the most, and today I'm joined by
Hello, I'm Kittens, the she/her participant with the I don't know. You
guest with the
get the
best,
idea. Yeah, thank you. That's better words.
guest with the best, yes. And we are here to talk about what's certainly one of the most unique national finals of the season, Belgium. Eurosong or Eurosong, België, has concluded with Red Sebastian winning with his song Strobe Lights, which was written by Billy Bentijn, Seppe Herman, Willem van der Stichelen, who was the co-producer of Gustav's Because of You, and Amira Roeland, who, of course, competed in Eurosong 2023. Um, yeah, it was just a one final. Red Sebastian won with both the jury and the televote. The televote, he a massive landslide, but even the jury vote, he almost got double what anyone else got. Like this was never in doubt, this result, basically, as soon as the points started rolling in. Um, how about we just start talking about that song immediately? What do you
Oh,
think of Strobe Lights?
okay. I'm a massive fan of strobe lights. I have been looking at Belgian flags on eBay. This is quite possibly my song of the season, at least so far. I have not been so excited about a song this season at all. Nobody has surprised me. There have been other songs that I've liked, but no other song has surprised me this way. And for me, it was a relatively strong selection. I know for a lot of people this was not a strong selection, but I actually like a lot of the songs in the selection. I am TES's resident banger queen, though, and a good percentage of the songs in this selection are of the BPMs. Not all of them, which is good. But I think this song has a lot going for it. I mean, dance tracks in Eurovision don't always have a good reputation. I think that's fair to say. We have not had a dance track that has done very well, I think, for a while. I mean, probably one of the last ones was Gustav. And you know, I think to have a song like this, which is a more upbeat track, but is so technical and has all those technical singing elements to it, is a real asset. I I think there's still a lot of things to work on with this, but that's a lot of it is nothing that could not be fixed before Eurovision. And so I am extremely pro strobe lights. I think that's very fair to say. And yeah, Angus is gonna say he hates it now.
No, I don't hate it. Look, I, it's not something that's discussed a lot, but I do have a big soft spot for dance songs and especially for different subgenres of house, as Kittens is aware. Kittens and I have spoken about that. This one doesn't quite work for me, I will admit. Red Sebastian's just his, he has a very specific vocal tones, and they don't quite work for me. I think a lot of that can be amended just by general work ahead of Eurovision. I think more backing vocals and frankly better backing vocals and perhaps some deeper backing vocals to sort like almost sort of Gregorian chant style, like very deep to sort of make the song feel richer in just the overall sound could really do this song good, both quality wise and Eurovision result wise. Because, and this is no dig at him, because Gustav is daddy with a good hat for a reason. But has so much charisma on stage, and that is something I'm at the moment missing from Red Sebastian. And regardless of whether he can bring that in the end or not, there are ways to elevate the song so that that isn't even needed by the time we get to the contest. Um, it's still not my winner from Belgium or for Eurovision this year, despite what the bookies say. But it's a good song. I think Belgium's chose well. I know that when people saw the pre-discussion video, which I was also on, people were like, "Oh, you're just being so negative." I will repeat, the showcases were the worst possible showcase for any of the songs, especially this one. It would have been
I
better if
have
they just
so much like
if they had just had put Red Sebastian without any staging just on a theater stage. If they had just done like they did with the first time they did Eurosong, so 2023, that would have worked better as a showcase for this song and these artists than what we got now. And that is just so, for the second time in a row, I'm baffled by the Eurosong format and also slightly surprised by the results, just by how big the win is this time. I don't think I think they made the right decision, but I do not like the way they got here, and I do hope that VRT keeps tooling with the format until it's not this. But I did like the songs. I think pretty much everyone sounded great during the live final. And in general, everything was presented well. It was organized well. The staging was there for everyone in a way that worked for the song and for the artist. And that I really appreciate. And I do think that Strobe Lights will qualify. I don't know how well it will do at Eurovision, because who's that's even the biggest Gustav defenders were surprised by his top 10 result in Eurovision. So who knows?
I think, it's not everybody's gonna get this because a lot of people aren't looking for this kind of music. And but I do think that he has the vocals. I do think he seems to struggle a bit with, and I don't know if this is just pure nerves at this point, but just performing that charisma on stage. And some of the dance moves were a bit, they weren't as sharp as they should be for that kind of performance. When you are doing stuff to the music, when you are shoof, it needs to be with so much precision and so sharp. But also, I think that is infinitely workable on. Like, you have now 3, 4 months before the competition. You can work on that every single damn day if you want to. That it can be so refined. Um, it's I think it is a benefit for those that choose their songs this early in the game. They can take those little things and they can tweak them and tweak them and tweak them and tweak them.
We're
And
still early enough in that they can just do a full change of the staging concept at this point.
the staging, I mean, I don't know if we were meant to be talking about the staging yet. Are we talking about the staging yet? Should we
We
talk about the
can. I
staging?
mean, why not? It's part of the song, isn't it?
Okay, good. Like, I love the staging. I don't know how transferable it is to Eurovision, but I also think the dancers need to be in earlier. I This is meant to be a dirty, grimy club sound. He should only be on stage alone for little bits of it. He needs to be like there needs to be that dirty clubbing interaction, feeling like you're crowded in and vibing kind of thing to it. And I was just missing that a little bit in the performance. And the dancers did eventually come in, but it felt too late. And they weren't, it wasn't refined enough in that choreo to really give it the impact it needed. So I don't know.
Honestly, this is the kind of I this is overdone conceptually, but this is the kind of song where I don't mind where the singer is just sitting or standing silently on stage, and just the dancers are doing all the work around him. Like even just to like basically make him the monarch of the nightclub. He can be carried in on a throne by the dancers for all I care, and then they do the dance moves
Absolutely,
around it.
yeah.
Like that kind of vibe could so work with this song, I think. But
You could
we
see
see where it goes.
almost um what am I thinking of? Paloska? That kind of like
Yes.
vibe to it. Where you've got him just sitting down and people just around him. And that would be like a nice way to have the drama and bring that movement to it without having to move him too much, I think, which, if you're going to deliver those vocals and have a lot of movement, which is a bloody hard thing to do. I mean, I'd rather you do just the vocals and don't move.
Absolutely. I think
Because
a bit, yeah,
it can't be fixed the other way.
exactly. Um, but these are all things that I think VRT is largely aware of, and I think Red Sebastian as well, and just in general stuff that can definitely be worked on.
Yes, absolutely. It's all of this is so fixable. Um, I love that they have gone quite simple with the staging that they did. I was unsure from the showcase as to what they were going to do with it, and I'm kind of glad they didn't overdo it. Um, they've just gone for simple and effective, and yeah, there's tweaks that can be made, but I really do feel like I'm, being picky here.
When we're immediately being picky and basically looking at, to be fair, details, if the folks immediately on the details, that either means there's nothing to talk about with the song, but we've already proven that's not the case because we've spoken about the song. So that means the song's good. And we're
Yeah.
just immediately focusing on the other stuff that we want to improve. Because I do, and that's the thing. I said this song doesn't work for me, but I want to love the song. This is a song I do really want to love, and I do think that just with those minor tweaks, it can really get there.
Mm.
Speaking of tweaks and wanting to love things, how about we talk about the format of Eurosong België? And you know what? Let's dig into those showcases.
Bin off the showcases. Bin off the showcases, or alternatively, music video and a bit of discussion. It would be cheaper and easier to do. It would actually give you a bit of a preview of what the vibe of something is. I was very exasperated, I think, by the showcases, especially for some of the artists. Like some of the artists did a lot better in their showcase than others. Like Grace did like really well in her showcase. Um and like there were some artists that were really displaying a lot in their showcase, and then some artists you were just sitting there going, I don't know what's going on here. People are just walking around. And it is what it is, but I don't feel like that's a necessary thing. Songs are out on streaming. You put songs out on streaming, you put songs out on YouTube or whatever. There's plenty of ways to release all your songs nowadays. Um, but I don't know, I was a bit baffled by the whole affair.
It's I get what they're trying to do, I think, question mark. It's guesswork with Feyarte, but this is not the way to do it. I think if anything, 2023 was more successful in showcasing the artists and their songs, even if the entire you have two they perform two songs and then they pick based on their competitors' commentary what song they want was also baffling in its own way. That being said, it does remind me a bit of what ESCZ did for a while, even though back more from when it was an online only show, but it does feel a bit like ESCZ 19 or 22, kind of like. And if they just did that, as you say, if it's just a recording a music video, and they can still then do that, present a music video, have them do a cover, and then have a bit of a chat show interview moment, they can still do that and can get to know the artist and all that without this.
But
Um,
it wasn't like the final show didn't also have that get to know the artist
it,
element.
that's the
There
thing,
was,
right?
it just felt like it was being repeated. And I was like, what's going
Um,
on here? I
and
mean,
the thing, yeah,
not speaking any of the language probably didn't help, but equally, like I was sitting there going, I'm not sure what's purpose the showcase is actually served in this process.
yeah, not with the way the final was done. Speaking of the final, we had nice selection of known and unknown hosts, basically. We're two Emily de Forest Only Teardrops performances away from being able to rank the best Emily de Forest Only Teardrops 2025 national final season.
It's the Waterloo of the year, lads.
Why? Exactly.
Because it's been featured in enough national final
Yeah,
interval
but just like
acts.
why? Why
Oh
this
yeah.
year? It's not like it's 12, it's not the anniversary year. It's not like what? It's not like it's Denmark again.
I feel like by the end of the year, that might go in the pile of songs which I'd be okay to just never hear again.
Hmm.
Um, as much as I have enjoyed that song, I feel like I'm done with it now. I mean, Gustav is a delight, an absolute delight. I have nothing but glorious things to say about Gustav. The intro was so cute. The Eurosong intro was just adorable. I loved that all those like just little nods to everything. It was adorable. Um, and you know, there was just something very, very wholesome about that. I can never be mad at a good daddy with a hat in a hat.
Absolutely not. I do think Verte missed a massive trick because look, I have my issues with jury members providing commentary and feedback while people are voting, and in general, we need to talk about the voting. Like put a pin in that if you're listening slash watching. But alright, so of the four people that you have on the jury that are providing commentary, so that are live in the venue, three of them are musicians, and you get two of them to perform, and not the third one, Merel, who's also a massive name in Belgium, and has an actual song with Gustav. They could have just done vernissage, and like because of you into vernissage.
I I I don't know. I hope this was Meryl's choice, not to perform, and not that she wasn't asked.
In return, we got Tom Dice with Me and My Guitar, which I know is beloved by many, but not by the two people in this video. Let's just keep it at that.
Sorry. It's
Mr.
not for
Doublestain,
me.
yeah.
It's not for me. I
It's,
mean, the one thing, and maybe we're about to come onto this, I don't know, but I'm going to bring us onto this, is the style of both the show and almost everybody on stage was exemplary. I could not keep myself from looking so much at the fashion on show here. It was just 100, every single person was impeccable on that stage. And I loved that you had this stage that was like a catwalk and everybody was doing their little turns and it was perfect. And like even the acts which I was like meh to like the outfits still beautiful, still impeccable. I was so impressed and I was just like, damn, everybody here is kitted out so fashion. Like I freaking loved Meryl's like tie braid thing. That was amazing. I enjoyed that very much, but literally everybody looked stunning. I felt
yeah,
like I was at a freaking ball.
in the fashion department, they knew what they were doing. Definitely. I mean, honestly, like, not everyone in 2023, but I don't remember any negative standouts, but I do remember also in 2023, some of the people looked really good. Amira brought basically the full, whoever represented Montenegro in 2022. Basically, it was all fashion from her, the fashion designer,
Oh,
so you know who I
okay, yeah.
mean. And then Gustav was obviously already daddy in a good hat, and Shireen, not to everyone's taste, but it was a look. And sometimes we need a bubblegum pop kind of fashion as well to be represented on stage, and she did very well with that. Um, yeah, the one thing I do really need to talk about is the voting, and specifically, there are two big issues I have. First of all, voting is open directly from the beginning because that is always a questionable choice. Again, it worked out, but and then the entire concept of a pre-recap.
A pre-cap.
Yeah, the pre-cap is just conceptually, I'm against that. Even though it makes sense within this format, I just hate it so much.
I mean, I suppose the one thing of having the voting open during the beginning is that, people aren't rushing to get their votes in at the last possible second, she says, with much Melfest voting trauma. Um, because it feels like in Melfest the lines are open for about 2 seconds. So, there is that, I do have some time for voting being open beforehand, but equally, I do see exactly what you mean. It is a bit, it feels like, those that have already won people over are going to pick up the most votes. Um, yeah.
I'm open to a compromise a la Junior Eurovision, especially if you have a showcase like this. And again, we complained about the showcase, but if you do some form of live performances beforehand, that people can vote between the end of those live performances and the beginning of the final, and then actually open the voting lines again at the end of all the actual final performances, so you can sort of have two split system. And how you then tot up those votes, and if you want to do something weird with it, be my guest. At least the point system in Belgium is good. I'll give Belgium props for that. They have a good point system.
I mean, when this was happening live and we were totting up, I was quickly tossing up votes in the spreadsheet, and I was sitting there going, it's definitely out of the same amount for jury and televote, isn't it? Because I'd come up with such a big number for Red Sebastian. I was like, is this even right?
Turns out it was. It
It
was
turns
just
out I was right. It was my maths was flawless. The thing was the 291 points was just so massive that I was like,
are we sure?
oh, have I broken this somewhere?
It's, yeah, I do hope he take Red Sebastian also takes this song on the road. By the way, this is a kind of song that does need to be like shown off on whether it's not just the Eurovision pre-party circuit, but I think just going to some random countries doing some talk shows would actually be a decent fit
I think
if he were into that.
I mean, I think they've got such momentum behind the song. There's so many people talking about this song. I still don't get what the betting odds were on about, but I never get what the betting odds were on about in the first place. But equally, I think there is such a big amount of momentum in this song that the best thing they can do is capitalize on it so hard. Um, you know, and equally, I want to be in the club where this is played. This is the thing. I want to hear it in a club.
Yeah, this is not the song that gets overplayed. It will get radio play where it's offered that, but at the same time, it's not something that will be played 24/7. So it wouldn't be hurt by overplay, but it is a song that can benefit from familiarity.
Mm.
Like it does feel instantly familiar to me. But I do think just further like building that kind of connection to a broad audience could do this a world of good, both in Eurovision and also just commercially beyond that. Really, I don't know what Red Sebastian has up to offer beyond this or the songwriters. I mean, Willem van der Siegel wrote 5 of the 8 songs, which is Melfest scale of what are we doing here. But as such, um, this is promising, and I do hope that everyone in the team behind the song can capitalize on that success and build further on that.
Yeah, I think you have momentum, now use it is the important thing. We have seen people get a big win at their national final, get the fan momentum, and then just because they do nothing for 3 months and appear at two pre-parties, and they think that's it, the job is done. momentum. This needs to be like getting onto TikTok. This needs to be going absolutely viral. This needs to go wild. And I don't know, you just need to capture that momentum somehow and utilize it. And if you do, I think this could be like, a really big one, even outside of Eurovision. We're talking commercial success. Commercial success doesn't even necessarily just mean Eurovision nowadays. So,
Yeah. Um, I think that pretty much brings us to the end. We've discussed basically everything. Is there anything you want to still say about either the Belgian entry for Eurovision or just the national final?
I mean, this I think was my first year of properly watching Eurosong. I don't think I've properly watched it. I think I've watched like clips and stuff before, but to sit down and watch the whole thing, and I found it quite a pleasant experience, to be honest. I do agree with you that like seeking the judges' comments, well, not the judges' comments, but you know what I mean, seemed a bit talent show, which this is not what it is. But equally, I enjoyed myself. I had a good time. You're doing amazing, sweeties.
Yeah, Belgium. I don't know how you get to the right result, but you do. Regardless of what I think of the song, like I do think this is a good choice for you at Eurovision. Um,
And I
call
think
us so we can fix the format. But
we are available for. No, I'm kidding. A very reasonable price.
yeah, give us some Belgian waffles, and we'll be good to go. Um, yeah. So on that note, thank you for watching. If you watch this video, thank you for listening. If you experienced this as a podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you're over on YouTube. We do not just these national final discussion videos for every national final, so there's still a bunch of these coming out, but we also do reaction videos and interviews. And in the off season, we have other content on the YouTube as well, such as the PowerPoint roulette, which you should go back and watch just for the hilarity of it all. We are at that Eurosite over on all the social media you could ever dream of. So if you ever lose track of the big headlines or anything, just look at our social media and be the first to find out the big Eurovision news, or just use that as a little catch up. Speaking of catch ups, we also do a roundup here on the YouTube every week at the moment because it's a very, very, very busy time. And Kittens is doing an amazing job editing it all. So they say thank you, Kittens. You can also just head over to our website, thateurovisionsite.com, where we do even more than we cover over here. If you listen to this as a podcast, or if you want to listen to it as a podcast, you can get it wherever you tune into your podcasts, or listen to it on our website. And you can find at that your podcast also pretty much everywhere you get your social media fix. Again, thank you so much for watching. I've been Angus, joined by the amazing kittens, and goodbye. Tot ziens.
Bye.